Apart from architects, most of the industries actually flourish because they are into prototyping of products.
There were hardly few people in a few cities around the country which were talking about sustainable architecture. But Indore was the city. Indore is the city which was talking like 6 years back and talking. Indore want to become a carbon neutral city.
Art is the only piece which makes that particular place alive.
Hi, I'm Ruby Jagrut from Abir Pothi. Today we are going to dwell into Urban Next 2.0, an initiative by Jaguar Bath and Light, where we are aimed to bridge the gap between emerging city and the hinterland. Cities, we are at the cusp of becoming the metro cities. The cities are thriving. This roundtable, we are going to talk to impressive, young, dynamic lot of young architects of Indore. Among us, we have Mr. Architect Anupam Goel, 16 years of experience in various fields. When I say various fields, it's residential, commercial, institutional, and hospitality. But one thing remains constant, which is minimalism. We are going to discover more about Anupam and his practice in a while. To his right is architect Neeraj Ramchandani, experience of 16 years. Very, very busy practice. He has a lot to say. He has worked across the globe and very excited to share it with us. But the constant remained heritage. To retain it, to express it, to explore it. In the extreme end, we have Angad Kasliwal, 15 years of experience. And he likes to introduce himself as people's architect, which could be, I don't know, but we'll find out very soon. To his right, architect Sashant Jain, 6 years of experience in field of architecture, studied in UK, done his master's, and came back to his home country to explore what can happen with minimalism and sustainability. And we have the young and dashing Avi Jain, who has a 9 year of experience. And he said, brave enough to say that I want to experiment. And he wants to experiment with material, design, and space. Let's find out more with the group of architects from Indore in Urban Next 2.0 in this conversation, enhancing, evolving architecture of Indore, who are making their mark pan-India and even abroad. Welcome you all and welcome to Urban Next. I'm Ruby Jagut, as I introduced myself. And we are going to have some fun conversation, okay? If we have to start from the journey, from the beginning, this question is open to all. So whoever wants to come in first can come first, but I would, to keep the sanity, I'll say let's Anupam to start it. Indore, and whenever we talk about two-tier cities, it comes with a very, it's the cleanest city. There are a lot of adjectives attached to Indore. The best food, the best people, a lot of things. You've been born and brought up in Indore, I believe. Anupam, yes. What this city has given you as a sense, as a person, and when you decided to become an architect, how much that you can retain, what city has given you so far? And this is for all, because you all from Indore. And because we talk about hinterland, because we are talking about two-tier city, I want to understand, in the time and age where location has is no more relevant, how well we are trying to retain it, or is it necessary to retain it? Okay, so it's to you now, Anupam.
Hi, so myself Anupam Goel from Anupam Goel Desires.
Okay.
So Ruby ji, about your question, what you have asked me, Indore gave me a lot of diversified things. Like after my graduation, I shifted to Mumbai. I have done a couple of years job over there, under many names over there. Then I got to feel like I have shifted back to Indore and I started my practicing Indore only. And I am very much connected with the Indore people. So the city that, from where I got graduated, from where I got beat up about the customs and all the things. So I be connected with the people and the city over here, the architecture, the history of the Indore. When I came back to Indore, I started my career over here as practicing my home. So it's not necessary now to be a part of Indore or not to be a part of Indore. See, now the whole focus of the people of the clients shifted to the global statics. So it is not necessary that you are based in Indore or not. So as of me, like I'm doing a project span India. Like I'm doing projects in Hyderabad, I'm doing projects in Mumbai. So it doesn't matter. Like if you're in Indore, you're not in.
So location has become irrelevant. I understand that. So now I'll come to you. Since Neeraj,
Yeah.
you said that that's the constant is heritage.
Yeah.
And that's why it is very interesting question, because for somebody, a location and the presence of a practice, and it's become irrelevant because we have become a global village. Whereas you said one thing which is constant is my heritage. And when you take up a project, take it, you want to start, that's your starting point.
Okay.
So how would you answer this question?
See, it's been now 16 years I'm working in law, and what my driving point for Indore is, this city grows with us.
Time.
Yes, grows with us. Actually, see, it's a constant developing city. Here, let's say 30 years back, there was no much of FAR, no much of this high-rise buildings, skyscrapers are not still not here. So when we started our work, we started with the projects which we can align with. Now the city is growing. As we are growing, we are getting more and more opportunities as per our experiences. See, when I was starting, I was with very I was very low with my experience. As I grew, the city keep on growing. Right now, as our experience is going, we are getting more opportunities. If we switch with another metropolitan city, if I was in Mumbai 15 years back, I started my job there. The city is already developed.
So I am born, brought up in Indore, but I've then obtained my architecture from University of Pune. I've different practice in 6 different cities and again abroad before I moved back. So there's a lot of global architecture exposure that I have. Plus there's a lot of Kanzoripana that I have. And that is where culminating and getting both the things together, I'm going to frame my answer. The one thing that the city has given to every architect or every individual possibly is humility. Humility. I would having practiced in different cities, I have learned that every city is very professional when it comes to talking profession. In Indore, you do not really talk still in on the terms of high professionalism in terms of professional attitudes, but a more humble and a humility based attitude wherein the project culminates with the presence of people and talking to them, converting with them, getting their ideas into action, and maybe something out of it. Because we are still a city which is at large dependent on talking with each other, with community development. So
I would say relationships.
When I say professionally, it's community development, like as a community developing yourself, because relation, getting it in between work is like not really a very professional way of putting it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, as a community, when we talk about lifestyle choices, Indore is a city where you say about Indoripana, we are coming from a mix of a lot of touchers. So, for example, having studied in Pune has got a particular kind of architecture. I work with the RMJ in Goa, it's Rita Modi. So we have a different set of culture there. I work with South and Bangalore. We both Bangaloreites have got a different set of understanding about like and lifestyle. And then obviously the architecture reflects that. Then UK people have got a different take. And then Morocco, which was Delhi. So every city, state and people is like Neemke said one thing. You've got a different set of things happening in a very bifurcated format. But in Indore, we are a culmination of all of them. You would find people who would have a certain kind of a tease which is inspired from history and tradition. You would have people who are completely
into glass box buildings and talking about architecture which is contemporary for them in those days. You have people who would want to go very sustainable as an idea. So you see, you got all this mix of different states and backgrounds of people, and hence the choices of lifestyle come in. And that is what the architects reflect, isn't it? So if a Sindhi has got a particular way of thinking, or if a Sikh has got a particular way of thinking, or Jains have a particular way of thinking, and then from where they're coming, and then where they are going in their next generations, and then putting all them into one piece of house, which they call home, is what we are basically. So yes, in Noripana is more of humility,
Humility, yes.
which differs from a lot of other places of exposure that I have pursued.
Shashank, would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, so I can, as you all know, Indore is like the greenest city. So I feel the people of Indore are very open to new ideas. So as you said, I did my master's in sustainable architecture and when I came back to India. There were hardly few people in or few cities around the country which were talking about sustainable architecture. But Indore is the city which was talking like 6 years back and talking. Indore want to become a carbon neutral city. So, municipal corporation, people were discussing how we can make the city carbon neutral. At the time, we were cleanest city in Indore, and I think it's been 7 years we have been the cleanest city in the entire country. And now our government, like our officials, are talking how we can make it the cleanest, greenest city and the carbon neutral city. So I think that is something which makes Indore people, very open to new ideas. Though Indore has a lot of history. Like it starts from way back, like Mughals ruled, and like Mughals were in Indore, then Holkars were ruling it, and then India Republic.
Of course.
Yeah, but I think Indore is a city which is not losing its charm, like history, heritage, but still very open to new ideas. So I think this is something
That is the essence, yeah.
fascinating about Indore and Indore people.
Okay, so you would say that is a sense that people are open, okay, and open about new ideas. And when you introduce something new, they are more open to hear it.
Yeah.
And that gives you a lot of space to work because then you can, explore different things. Ali, what do you say?
I'll go back to a few tender years. So I've been born and brought up in Indore. And since a very young age, I was exposed to architecture and development. As my family background is into real estate and development, from classes 6th, 7th or 8th, I was...
an architect.
Yes, I wanted to be an architect. And also I've been constantly going to architect's office or the sites of different developments. So it has been there with me since a very young age. And I used to live in the CBZ of Indore. And that has kind of put a great impression on me of what Indore is and what it is going to be in the next few years. So what I've learned about Indore, that Indore is a city of believers. Also, Indore just being open to new stuff, but also people are challenging themselves and also the other people. So it is with every new sunrise, people are there with great ideas. They want something new every now and then. And being Indore in the central of India, so it is influenced by different parts of India again, but never leaving their own heritage of being the openness, the calmness of the city. I would say the laziness of the city also. So it is there and it has to be there.
So yeah, I think if I sum up all of your answers is there is some part of Indore which has affected you in a positive way and you want to retain it. It could be heritage, it could be your exposure and living and being born and brought up in Indore. You went to UK and came back and still you wanted to have that, you recognize that essence well after your experience abroad that, okay, that's my heritage, that's my essence, that's Indorian, how you put it. And you want to somehow take it forward and retain it in some or other way in your practices. I think that's what I will sum up this answer with. And, when you decided to become an architect, relatively when you were young, what was the first thing you thought the architecture would be? And then you realize, okay, this is not architecture, this is something else. Is there any kind of myth-breaking experience any of you had when you decided to become an architect? And because you're youngest, I want to start with you. Avik, you had some myth-breaking thing. Acha, when you were decided to become an architect, you felt, okay, this would be fun or that, or maybe it was all true. I don't know.
I'll be transparent. I was not very good at studies till architecture. Architecture, I was good. So in school, I used to escape from those monotonous subjects, um, trying drawing, trying different types of things, trying modeling and everything. So that was the one impression I always had, that architecture is all art. And once I led myself into it, and it was amazing. It was the whole level of different experience. It is not just art; it is a kind of an
Science also,
experience.
right?
It's science. Uh, I would say it's geography, it's history, it's everything. Every single subject you'll name it, and it will come in architecture. So that was my myth to be busted, but it was amazing.
It was so good.
Yeah, it was good for good.
Anupam, you want to add something?
So, if I say about thinking about the architecture, what we were thinking earlier and now, being into the practical life, so it's completely a different thing. See, we have to cater the client. There are different types of clients, so we have to cater the clients each time very differently. So, as per my expectations, like we have to be in a kind of a form that the client is satisfied with the what exactly they are catering to them, and it could be the sustainability also, the eco-friendly also. So there are a number of aspects which we have to follow as well.
So it is, of course, an exploration of art, which is mother of architecture is mother of all art.
Right.
And when you get into practice, you think that, but then you realize it's also public relations. It's also how you understand other people's need, and it is also a human angle to it. So was myth not broke, but the myth? How would you put it? You were okay with the new discovery.
So we have to be okay with that.
You have to be okay with that. Neeraj, what is
Oh, when I was, I was 10 or 11 years old, there is something you can call love. So my love was the buildings. Okay, yeah, I love buildings. Like whenever I move around, there is something if you're watching from your something from your car window. What should be there? There should be a building. Uh, and in love with buildings. So when I was so young, there was a story given wrong in my mind that how to be a person willing to design or build big.
so being an instrumental to create something like this?
Yes. Not being very clear on it. Be very honest. There was no clarity how to do that. But yes, the love was constant till time. Like till this day, to be love this person.
So he's among few lucky who believed in that somehow I should be instrumental in creating buildings, and he's doing that. So you are in a blissful state. So Angad, what is your take on this?
I think there's been no myth about stuff as far as it comes to the concepts and the thinking. Rather, it has developed over a period of time because then also my designs and cabinets used to be very human centric, and it used to have a lot of humanities, meaning it used to have a lot of practical inputs of everyday life as well coming in place for making the lives of the.
So okay, let me just ask you one more thing here. Yeah, when you were 18 or 17, when you got into architecture college, what do you think what is architecture is all about? Or somebody told you to become an
No, so when I was exploring a lot of different subjects, I wanted to get into something which is more practical, which is more tangible. So to get into architecture architecture is something that you realize end of the day, which is your brainchild, and you can put it across people. When you talk, so when you critique architecture, you come from a PCM background essentially. So with a PCM background, you can think of atoms, molecules, physics, and things which are not tangible. Correct? Getting these things tangible in terms of physics and in terms of mathematics to the lives of people, and incorporating your own experience, gathering the experience of the people is something which is very exciting. That gives you a high because you're doing it for people, and it is your experience that somebody is going to get into for the years to come. And the whole idea of making your brain come out and people to know about it is a very exciting sense.
If I would just sum up your answers, that the myth remained then, because you wanted to explore, you wanted to cater to, and you wanted to have your own brainchild to have this non-tangible, non-tangible play between tangible, non-tangible, because you talk about physics and science and saying this. So that play continues and you're unhappy about it. So there is no myth-busting happening for you.
Firstly, I can tell you in general, not put it as a narration, not really for an architect to architect, vocabulary for your audience to listen to. But yeah, there's a very small change. A mythbuster that actually comes into picture is when you're academically doing projects, you're doing urban scale and large scale projects, which might be irrelevant to a lot of practices immediately after graduating. And that's the biggest myth buster most of the architecture students would realize once they start practicing, because now in their practical life, they're into certain given constraints, certain constrained possibilities, and luck of projects.
FSI, budget.
Luck, I could say luck of projects, because eventually with experience, you can get it all those things. So today, so let's say so the project cannot be hypothetical anymore. In the sense that you should be getting that quantum of your choice. For example, if you want to design a museum in the city, right? But there is the scope of a museum or the adaptability to get around a museum space into a given typology of architecture is difficult. Then you really can't pitch on that. But this is what you learn in 5 years, which could be myth busting for so you study Daniel Libeskind, you would study Foster, you would for Indian contemporaries. We would learn about Doshi sir and a lot of people, obviously. But that would not immediately come into action, but you are very highly inspired from them. But that practicality of putting that philosophy added with yours into a physical space might not be an immediate possibility for a lot of architects.
Yeah, so I never met an architect before I decided to study architecture. So it was a very big mythbuster for me because, before that, I just read about few architects. I was watching documentaries, what architects used to do. So it always used to talk about design, how they are designing the fanciest stuff and then it's getting executed. But when I came to the practice or when I went to the college, I got to know it's not all about design. There are a lot of aspects which are like architects has to do in his day-to-day life. So I think that was the biggest mythbuster for me. So architecture is not just about design, though design is a big part of architecture. But it's not just design. There are a lot of things that architects has to do along with design.
So when I was talking to a very senior architect, he said that architecture is the design. Along with the design, it's a service design. It's about sun cycle. It's always contextual. What is next to you?
Yes.
So psychology and it's human psychology, the occupant, the end user, a lot of things comes to play.
Yes.
And it is a dance between the desired result, the practicality of it, the budget of it, and that's it. We are just keep dancing among this area. So I think that remained with me for you.
And summarize it with a leveler. If you are giving any kind of, I can say, constraints, it's a level.
Of course. So you're put across challenge and you go ahead the challenge and you are ready for the next one.
All about it.
Next, you are ready for the next one.
I think there's one really good saying, architect is the one who knows about everything, but specialist of nothing. So I think that's an architect's job. He has to know everything. He has to deal with everyone, but he's not the one who is like...
The architect should be specialist of customer behavior, or I can say the psychological part. That is the more important. See, if you want to picture design, you need to know human psychology. And the human psychology is the topic which every architect should be master.
Do they teach it in the institutes? No.
Never. That's why I said humanities.
If they do?
Humanities. So I come from Bharatiya Vidyapith and we were taught humanities at large right from first year as a part of basic design. So when we started doing basic design, we were given a lot of inputs about, how you can make a design human-centric, because we would always talk, in fact, into our designs later on as we were up in, further years. We used to have a public display of designs, wherein we would take up a public project, and the public project used to be put on an exhibition wherein we used to invite our faculties, would invite people of that locality, and then they would comment on the design. They were the real commentators on the design. And then we would try to explore it further with the faculty and then come up with a product. So we have been through that kind of a process in our academic life, which definitely, and that's why architecture is all about school of thoughts.
Yes. So Shashank gave us, a very good quote by somebody. So I also want to share a quote by Winston Churchill, and he said, "We shape our building, and thereafter they shape us." It's a very famous quote from by Winston Churchill. How much you agree and want to emphasize on it? And we can start from the youngest. Do you agree to this statement? And yes, no.
I do agree. See, architecture is all about learning. Every new day is you learn something new, and it's a whole journey. It's not a single day you have given your design and you're free. It's not that you have given your 1 year, 2 year, 3 year maybe, and architecture is tailor made again. So what happens is one person's myth can be other person's reality. So what happens there is if I am doing a design and say I've drawn it on paper, I've went through it and the execution has started. Once I enter the space, it should be experiential. It will start teaching me also what are the other options I would have had. Also, how would I take the positives and the negatives from the space. So every single project you grow, every single day you grow. So it's all about the little things and little details that we work on it.
Shashank, what would you?
I'll give you a very good example. When we are designing a space, so I had a conversation with one of my clients. We have recently completed his project, and on call he told me, Shashank, you have transformed our lifestyle to a different platform now. So, for example, if you're using iPhone now, once you know what all advantages iPhone have, and if you go back to any basic phone, like
The difference.
the difference. So it's same goes with architecture. Once you start experiencing those spaces and once you start living in it, then like how it has changed your life. So, for example, bathroom. If you talk about bathroom, it's a very small space in the house, but every small detail in bathroom
Yes.
is something which you don't notice, but unconsciously, it changes your life. So
It does.
it's a very small.
I would say changes life is little. It is there, but I would say it is every day adding value to your life.
Correct.
Experience of being in that space, right? And of nobody would say no. Mr. Churchill said something.
Right.
We are all agreeing to it. In your practice, how it has been come true, Neeraj, what would you say?
This I can say far like since summer. This is the best thing I can say I've listened from summers and absolutely correct. Uh, we break up it when we are designing a project and the user is now as the project ready and the user is willing to ship there. Earlier, whatever is your lifestyle is, when they came in, their life is fully organized now. Everything is on pace. Every experience is there. The place is designed according to them.
Mm-hmm.
That is something they will see. If you are living in a place which is designed according to you, that is going to shape you entirely. If you are good with white color and the place is white, a lot of positivity are gonna be there. If the place is organized, you are organized. There is a matching kind of thing. Like what you are doing in your life, the place is belongs to you only. And likewise, they said if you're experiencing a Mercedes and if you're having a Mercedes, so that gonna change your life because you are experiencing some kind of luxury there, some kind of systematic lifestyle there. So the statement is absolutely correct.
Okay, so I will I'll go to Angad and I'll ask Angad. Uh, you mentioned about Mercedes and you mentioned about Apple phone, and we know the integrity and the pain has gone behind designing that objects or the car or a phone. We are talking about space. Space is very it's not tangible. We can't measure it. You will only get to know something not right when it starts hurting you. If this table would have been in the center somewhere, when it is supposed to be there, it's fine. But if it is right, the staircase landing is there, and if there is a table, it will hurt you. So it has to be that human or that, I would say, ergonomically part of that space that it should not hurt you. It should be organic. So when we say enhancing the experience of living or aesthetic of living because of good design, Angad, because you talk with a different philosophy, you shared something which is very different. What is your take when you are doing the space planning, and how you think it enhances the life or an experience of an occupant or an end user? What would you do?
You know, when two energies are having some synergetic times, which is equal to your first meeting with the client, that's the first set of energies that you're exchanging. You hear the client, and you would eventually realize what his requirements are beyond his speaking. And that is where your role as an architect starts. To simplify this into words, I will tell you about one of our clients, and a very well-to-do, very flamboyant lifestyle. But a bottom line that we could figure out consistently was about the kind of stress levels that they were having, the kind of details and the briefs that and the references that they were trying to share with us related to architecture, which was again which lived up to their kind of an aura. But going against the brief or its idea into the conversations in the very first meeting, we tried to tell them about what exactly they would need as an idea of home, which does not fall as an idea of an office space, and which went in the direction of designing 4 courtyards in the same house with the perpetually no was happening, only the essential was happening, and every room goes into the green space. And that is where the whole idea of this is stressful life at work versus a peaceful life at home started balancing each other. So when you're designing for somebody, not necessarily, so when you think about a personality for designing, when you think about a personality for designing, when you're talking to people, you would want to design in line of their personalities, which might not be true every time. You have to go beyond the obvious and then think as an architect, as a healer at times, that what exactly is the problem and which is that what solution is going to give them a better life. And that is how what you are making ultimately is going to shape them better, because more comfortable they are at home and not a kind of life that they were looking at, but now that they're experiencing.
They want to go back to house. They want to go back to their home.
They want to go back
after a tiring.
I tell you, most of.
Angad, I would like to add something to here, because when we talk about enhancing the experience, we tend to talk about larger space with courtyards. But let's say 2-bedroom flat.
Yeah.
An economical house.
Right.
That person has done more stressful day. He has traveled in a bus or train or in a metro or on his two-wheeler in 42-degree. He is returning home. And in that small space, we are trying to give him the best experience of his life.
Correct.
So as an architect, see, Lars, I always find your test of your architectural skill comes to when the space starts constraining and getting smaller and smaller.
Hmm.
So how do we cater to that end user who has worked for 11 hours in some shift and returning to his 1 or 2 bedroom apartment?
Get them into their budget straight away. They're happy.
No.
I would like to add, yeah.
Avi, you would like to add something here?
Yeah, see, what happens is people get the home design. The one and only purpose is they want to get their life organized. So it's about getting their life organized. If they have spaces, like I have a habit of opening my shoes at one place, keeping my specs at one particular place. So it's all about the details. If you work on their details and if it is satisfying them, you've done a great job.
Yes. So very rightly put, and I really appreciate that, because in a smaller space, the more organized spaces are, they have better space to experience.
Yes.
So, and that is where the adding value to your life comes in picture. Anupam, you want to add something to this? Please.
So, as we know, every human has a different psychology. So, if we talk about the human psychology comparatively to this, so personally, I feel the body of a client, what exactly they are into in the existing space. Then I compare that thing to, so see, creating a space, doing something interior in interiors or architecture is not just that factor. It's all about upgrading the lifestyle of the price.
Yes.
So what we do, like I actually look into the existing life of a bride that I compare to the existing project. Then I'll upgrade to the lifestyle. So it will play an important role in that in particular.
Yeah. So I was talking to somebody, and when you do the small scale, small size projects, they try to give that garden at the bottom of the building. They want to give a space where they can feel relaxed. They can come down. Their children have small area to cycle. They small. So those amenities now adding value to the lifestyle of a person who is just probably living in 1 or 2 bedroom apartment. But once he is going down to this new complex, there are amenities which would add value to his life, because everything is not possible in his own limited space. So that is what architects have started giving, creating design around it.
If we are talking about it, so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
If we are talking about a 2 BHK flat or a 3 BHK apartment, so putting up all the amenities in a single 2 BHK apartment or 3 BHK apartment, it's a very different and altogether difficult thing. But putting a kind of a flavors in there, like so instead of creating a big lawn, we can create a vertical garden over there. We can put up a small water body over there. So that can be make a big change.
So add something to landscape or something.
Right, right.
So because they talk about end user, but end user will come in end. The first will come the client. He would come with the brief. So how do you navigate between client, his vision, keeping end user in mind, and also your architectural philosophy? So Neeraj, how do you deal with that?
See, at the end of the day, user is important, but there are certain types of users. Now, the person who is coming to you, he must be a developer if he's the end user is the third part. So when we start our design, rather than all these technical things, I'm talking about architecture and art only. If you start about the convenience of anyone, see, if I'm designing any building and the building is must be number of rooms, number of apartments, you must give something which leads to relaxing and wellness in any building. If you are coming up with that idea that the person who is coming to you to design the building and gonna sell it to end user, that you have to look after the end user first, because that person who is coming to you, he has two ideas in mind. First is business, second is aspiration. The building should be inclusive of all the things. Likewise, you said some small garden, some kind of wellness thing, some kind of gym, pool. See, um, in our whole life, uh, we can say in a year, we can take 1 or 2 holidays. Being a layman only, or being a normal person who is doing his 9 to 5 job, he can take 2 or 3 holidays maximum. But what about the rest of 360 or 320 days, 340 days, or whatever he's living in that particular place? There should be something. So if you are coming up with that kind of ideas to navigate that design is very easy, because you are thinking for the person who is going to live there. So rather than these technical things, if your design consists of good art, if you're watching your building and it is nicely designed, so you keep on watching it. And if in terms of using that particular space, if you are having good gardens, fresh air, good amenities, everything a person can relax with, then it is very easy to navigate. So
Shashank, how would you navigate between client vision, your philosophy, and keeping end user in mind?
I think it's my it's a job responsibility. So, for example, someone is goes to a doctor, and someone is built his space, he goes to an architect. So, every architect has a responsibility to understand his needs and guide in the right way. So, if client comes up with a brief, okay, I want, because when someone is building his house for 1 or 2 times in his lifetime, he must be living in a bubble world. Okay, I want this for my house, I want this for my house. He's a big checklist. So, as an architect, it's a responsibility to make him understand but this is all is possible in your house, and so he can prioritize things what he want, and as per like whatever his priorities, it's our job to fulfill those priority.
Yeah, so being a responsible architect, that's what you are saying, in terms of budget, material, environment, everything as a whole. So that will,
The budget and all this concept for virtual leader. First, I think we have to understand the client way. So what exactly he wants.
okay, let me rephrase this because I think you all are going to say end user. So now I want to tweak the question. What I want to hear from you is there is a particular style of your architecture and you want to leave a mark behind. This is my building. Sometimes people do believe in that. Sometimes some architects don't believe in that. And there is a conflict between the brief and what you believe in. And that is a time you actually have to navigate. Most of the time, the client is coming to you because he believes in your style of design. He must have done the survey in the market. Okay, I believe in Avi kind of design, or I believe in Shashank kind of design, or a Neeraj or Anukam. His is suitable to my sensibilities. That's why I'm coming to you. So you're already on the same page. Now, what is tricky is when he started sharing things which he believed or his vision, and you have your philosophy, your experience, your language, and there is a gap. And there is an end user which you have to keep in mind, which Neeraj and Anupam and Avi said that we have to keep them in the... Of course, all the architects would do that. So how do you navigate where there is a gap? That's what I want to hear, because that's the conflicting area. You don't want that client to go. You don't want to lose the project. And you still want to do this and you still are not agreeing to him. Because we are relatively young, and it is important, So on that context, what would you say?
I think as we are relatively young, you said. So, we are little flexible in that terms.
Okay.
A lot of times it happens, we are like, we have certain idea, we want certain space to be certain way, and client has its own idea. So, as being a young architect, we are little flexible and we always try to find a middle ground. So we can fulfill his aspiration, but still keep our design in mind or our aesthetics.
So being young helps in navigating
Yeah, it does.
that.
It does.
Yes.
Oh, you want to add something to this? Please, Anwar.
I think super asking this question of how you navigate it. I think it's more about who tells you a whole beautiful story. So if a client comes to you and there's a beautiful story about his, there's a story, I mean, say about his requirements, how poetic is about his lifestyle and other aspects of around it, versus a beautiful story that you have in your mind, which is going to grow on the aspirations of your client. Whoever is in a position of a better narration of a story that is going to do a common good is where the solution of the entire process. That is where the common ground of the process lies.
Okay, so now I want to hear one design rule you swear by or you would love to break. And we're just going to talk about one rule. So we'll start with Avi.
One design rule I swear by is having ample amount of sun. Like,
Sunlight.
yes, ample amount of sun. It should be there. It is a must. Either it's an apartment, it's your regular house, it's 20 by 50 house.
So you would...
Should be there.
It has to be there.
It has to be there.
Sasan?
I would say sustainability is the thing which I never break. So I want every project to be sustainable in certain sense. I can't make every project like carbon neutral or carbon negative. But whichever way we get it is sustainable, I think we should not break that too.
Anwar?
There should be a design policy in India now. It's a high time. Just the way you have it in France. Paris at large.
What is your one rule which you can't break? Or you swear by?
A rule that I swear by is not to think contemporary design means European styles.
Neeraj.
any day. First is heritage. If I get chance, rather than heritage, I love to be eco-friendly. Yeah.
Anupam.
So for me, it is going to be a minimalistic. Definitely sustainability, using of much more grey water comparatively to black water, and the crisp lines, clear lines, straight commissions. That is my forte.
Yes. So we talk about one rule which you were like immediately everybody said that, and that is what shows what is your thought process when you sit in front of the blank paper. It could be hospitality project, it could be a 2-bedroom project, it was a bungalow project. These are the no compromise zone. We have now hear about this no compromise zone. So let's talk about interesting projects then. Any one project which you would like to say which I'm proud of, or which I think is the best so far, because you have a long journey to go, but so far. Let's talk about kinetic facades.
So, if you would have heard of meta days and meta coins, they are something which I think are the stepping stones for putting the antique facades in the country. If not of late in the state at least, because we do not really have that kind of an architecture. We still are confused with the sense of contemporary architecture being glass buildings, which you find everywhere. In the more traditional designs, in terms of vernacular architecture, we're still stuck on putting some carbon pieces from the old pocket, which do not really reflect the architecture of the city in the deep present. Was it, and it was not an architecture of yesteryears as well. And the kind of education it would give to the children of today about the architectural legacy of the country is completely missing, because both of these do not really relate to our existential values. And hence, if we try to do something which is, of course, by default in lines of sustainable architecture. So there are two different things now. Sustainable architecture is a different story, and a rating system is a different story. I am at last talking about sustainable architecture and then going kinetic about it. So that there's some idea of dynamism. Now, this dynamism might not be necessarily material based. It could be as well a play of light and shadows and everything which naturally goes as an idea of the building looking different every single time. Like the way you wear a different attire every time, when you look different, why not your building do the same? May it be the facade lighting, may it be the natural lighting, may it be everything around it, may it be the shadows on the plants,
Openable doors, and
everything. And with every season, the building should look as fresh as how you look every time.
That's very interesting to hear. Sashank, the project you would like to talk about, which you think you're proud of, and
I think all of my project I'm proud of, but I would like to talk about one project that we recently completed. It's an office building. And we have very interestingly used the metal plate, MS plate in the elevation. So we have used more than 780 plates. They are just there on the facade, creating different pattern throughout the day. So I think that is the project which is really interesting. And as Angat says, so buildings should keep changing. It should be kinetic. So I think those plates are static. They're not changing. But the way sun is changing, it is all like every day of the month, it is creating different patterns and very different look to a building.
Avi?
So we have done this holiday home. On the interior parts, what we have done is use of the micro concrete. We have dyed the micro concrete to the floor, to the washrooms, to the basic furnitures, and also to the lighting fixtures also. So put in lamps made of micro concrete, coated with them. Also dyed few of them to different shades. So it is a whole level of different experience. Yes.
You said in your beginning,
Yes.
Basti.
And it was a good experience.
Yeah, so I, as I like all of my projects, but recently we are in process of a project in Ayodhya. I would like to talk to you about that.
Please.
So we are creating a kind of a space for the people regarding with the spirituality. Like we are connecting the people, like we are giving a kind of a mirror experience to the people who are coming to Ayodhya for Ram Mandir. And they can go and have a movie theater, like a experience of VR experience over there, and they can see what exactly in the Ram Mandir. So technically we feels like when we go to the temple, there is a limitation with the time. People push you throughout the temple, like you have to make the darshans very fast. But what we are doing, like for the school children and for the college peoples also, they are not much connected with the spirituality, religion and all. So we are giving a kind of a portrait experience in a VR form. So we are getting that project base. So yes.
I would like to talk about stone. Yeah, stone is the only product or material which belongs to our history.
Standing tall.
Standing tall any day. Likewise, Anupam, Mike has talked about Ayodhya. Entire temple is made up of stone. So my love for stone is since a big time because I'm very much, I can say, lover of history also. If you talk me about 14th century, 15th century, 17th century, I love talking about history. And the material which remains till time is the stone. And obviously, there are a number of variations of a stone. If you give me only stone and tell me to design entire project out of it, I can do it. And read. Yeah. I'm having that much love about stone.
So it rather than project, it is the tool or a medium
Yes.
which express and manifest
See,
that project.
what we started with was art. What we're talking about is more of art rather than architecture.
To art. So
Yeah. So stone is the only medium amongst all you can play with the art.
So see, you say, I'm an artist, I'm a painter myself. And I always felt that any extremely very well designed space with Italian furniture and beautiful jaguar lights around in that on that walls in the ceiling, when if you don't put art in it, it that you would find the sense of missing sometimes because I'm biased, I'm an artist. Some people might not you agree to
Meeting completely, I would put something on it. Art makes places alive.
So this is a music to my ears. But I want to talk about this, that if you can give an example of how art or craft or artisan you have made to work for your project, or you had a collaboration with, or you have done something experimental. Like he said, I dyed the Bhutta. It's an art by itself. The statement itself, like an artist statement. So I would like to talk about that. And I want to hear from you that if you can talk about how this amalgamation of multidisciplinary artists and architecture happened, or how you have use art in some of your project, or when you design a project, is art considered to be part of a project, or it is a surface level thing? Last moment comes in the picture. So I would like to hear around those lines from all of you.
No. In my way of working, art is there. What my philosophy is, art is the only piece which makes that particular place alive. And by art, I am not biased with any kind of paintings or sculptures or any traditional things. By art, it should be art. The definition of art is this: there should be something alive there, something kicking. So my set of projects are having art by default, by choice, by I can say by planning, by compulsion. Yeah. So whenever I'm designing any project, maybe it is contemporary, maybe it's heritage, maybe it's European, whatever it is, art is there, and art should be there. If you're not doing anything in terms of art after 14, 15 years of architecture, you are missing a lot.
And then, so, uh, art is emptiness, art can be fullness, art can be absolutely nothing. And that is where around the spaces, if it starts making sense, it is making sense. That is what art to me is personally. Uh, and that is how the idea of experiencing art comes into picture, because art might not, personally, might not necessarily mean a piece of painting. Let's talk about Zen landscape. Let's talk about Japanese landscape. So when you talk about Japanese landscape, it is an art in itself. You place a single sculpture, something very abstract, which is just seen into a distance, and that's an art in itself, given to the fact that it is actually appreciating that space from where you're actually looking at it, and how much of a sense you are able to draw looking on. So art goes beyond the idea of putting paintings in the wall. If you have got so let's talk about In the smallest sense of it, let's talk about an apartment, what you were discussing, which is the minimum that you can give to the people. If you've got a 2 BHK which has got a 360-degree view of the urban scape of the city, that's a piece of art in itself. If you
That's an experience. I
if
would
you
like to differ and I would like to make it be more specific. Let me.
you talk about paintings.
No, I'm not. I'm talking about multidisciplinary art and art craft evaluation in a project where not only architecture is at play, but there is maybe a stone carver or maybe a sculptor or a ceramist or
A physical
yeah,
equivalent to action.
because in fact, tangible, so we can say the way we live is by living itself is an art.
Correct.
So that is fine. That's
So how you make it obvious? So let's talk
so
about.
I'm talking about the collaboration kind of a thing where you consciously decided that okay, these are two art form. I want to collaborate with like he said like okay, I want to collaborate with somebody and if I'm working on stone, so I collaborate with somebody.
So we're talking more on lines of Hussein Doshi Bufa, and we're talking about Charles Correa and
Yeah, so I'm
Porta.
talking about your philosophy when it comes to art and multidisciplinary also
Association.
collaborations, yeah.
Oh, collaboration.
Collaborations with different art forms because
Okay.
what happens is uh, uh, like any other profession,
Yeah.
it's a very lonely journey being an
Yeah.
architect.
Yeah.
You are a designer,
Yeah.
you are a captain of your ship.
Right.
You know what is going to happen in your project, what lights you are going to put, what furniture you are going to put, what kind of colors are going to be involved, and it is all your decision. And it is a very satisfying experience. And then you also see value in other art form, other art disciplines which can add value to the project or maybe make it more soothing.
So I personally have a pretty strict opinion on this with respect to my designs, which is so when we get in collaboration with an artist as well, it is we will provide with the exact set of experience that we want the artist to bring into a current form. Now we are very open to the ideas that an artist would speak about, but there is a definite intended idea why a particular space is designed, and that has got a theory behind it. And the theory we first give as our brief to the artist, and then we would love to listen to them. And then again, that whole idea of architect and the artist, and where you're navigating in between, that starts on the other side of the story. So that's how we bring in our but yes, definitely.
Value in the collaboration.
There is an absolute sense of value addition to the project when we talk about collaborations with the artists, because definitely they help you get the project tangible in terms of the user experience.
Can you share a project or a place where you have this kind of collaboration with some art form?
So again, in one of the building designs, we have a corridor which had glass on both the sides, and it was more or less like a bridge which is happening between the two spaces. And so there were two school of thoughts that were going around. The client wanted nothing to happen, and we wanted a lot of landscapes to happen. To bring both of them into action, we attempted to make that full space as an experience of this nothingness and fullness. And we got an artist on board, and he helped us at large scale to realize our conceptualizations and the client needs, and we eventually gave it a form which was satisfying for all three of us.
Yes, that's what I want to. Shashank, you would like to share something?
So I think everything we do in a project is a form of a art. Sometimes, like when we're working on furniture, we do collaborate with some furniture artists. But in particular, I'm not a huge fan of putting paintings or a big artwork to express somewhere. And especially when I noticed, especially practicing in law, uh, art is something which should a person living in the house or using the building, it should express them rather than architect is deciding, oh yeah, this is art that's coming to you on the wall. So
this is something very, very interesting and something very, very true when I'm hearing this, because we do a lot of art advice with senior architects and largely they decide, and I always tell share it to your client if they like it or not, because they ultimately have to sleep under that painting all their life. A lot of time they don't act, the client would say, I don't understand art. And I don't understand this statement that how do you come up with this pant and shirt which would look nice on you? That decision making, the part of brain which is doing it, it is the same part of brain which will be engaged when it comes to art. The only thing is we have not been exposed enough to explore or exposed enough to experience it. So I think you as a designer, all of you, when I say you as a designer, you also have to educate your client.
Correct.
Sometimes and make them see the necessity of adding that, not only painting or a sculpture, but adding that aspect of living of aesthetic of living in the experience of living. And when an architect say that, the client would have different kind of listening. So I think it is your also a role somewhere to just tell them ki, you should because an art is always an extension of a personality. It is very subjective. What you like, you might not like, but you have to create a space for it and let it go.
What happens? It's like we as architects and artists, so when we design a piece, we are designing it for once for that one particular terrain. And then everyday living, when they see the same object, they bypass it. They do not really appreciate the existence of the same form because they are revolving, they are rotating around the same space, they're into that movement around the same space, which eventually over the years do not really interact with them. If they happen to bypass it as any other object kept in the house.
So that's why.
And that is what I've learned from one of the clients, that it stops mattering after the first few years of after once.
That's why Angad, I specifically mentioned that lack of exposure.
Right.
And that is why I always say it is important for an end user or a buyer or who is occupying that space with the piece of art should be part of the process. Then it becomes a pride possession.
So I would like to add something.
Please, Anupam.
So for me, art is basically kind of a magnet. People get attracted to it. Art is not just a paintings or a murals or something like that. It is in any form. Like it can be in a light form. It can be in a planter's form. Like he said, Neeraj Bhai said, it can be in a stone form. So that is how we're going to project it in your project. How we're going to portray it. That depends upon a lot. Recently, I experienced, like if we talk about the Jaguar, so they itself have had so many of products which is themselves in a art form.
They're very artistically designed.
Yes, if you saw the basin faucets, the WCs, so they are in a very artistic form. So that product itself a art over there in the bathroom.
So design sensitivity is also a different take on this. I was I'm coming to you, Neeraj. I wanted to hear about the collaboration. When we say architecture is mother of art, it is onus on you to help survive other art form. It is a highly interdependent space where a young sculptor is looking forward for some designer to come and say, okay, your sculpture is good. It should be part of my project. And also give awareness to the client that it is good and see why it is good. Yes, Neeraj, tell me.
You know what? Art is a language. And if you are not aware of any language, you are not comfortable in it. And once you are aware of that language,
you enjoy it.
Yes. Art is kind of a South Indian song. You are understanding it, then you are enjoying it. Nice. Yeah. And if you are not understanding it, you can still enjoy it. Bye-bye.
You enjoy the beat.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, what our task should be to learn them that language.
And the collaborations are important. So in first world countries, it's very much okay to have a separate art and aesthetic designer, and you would work in a parity of design sensitivity of architect and make them sit on a same table, architect, client, and an art advisor, and help them decide.
I'll like to add something. See, I think art and art pieces, they are the climax of your design storytelling process. Once it's there, you know it's complete. It's done and dusted. So it makes perfect sense to, if you're having a project, we have collaborated with an artist. We have done in our own office. We have all the walls and the roof. Everything is textured. So we've hired artists who make patterns to it so that it comes alive. A simple texture won't do it. So it needs to be there.
Art is a silence, basically. So one should be there to tell a good story about it.
What your question is, ki architect should explain why we are taking art, and he or she should collaborate. That is your take, right? I'd like to tell something. Yeah, what Arnad was saying. When you are starting a project, you have to explain so many things, starting from the floor design, then the
I know how.
facade.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is that chaotic at the end. It's pure like energies are was not exhausted that there's no space to explain why we are putting that particular art. At the end of the day, what happens? You starting like you act as a medium at the end of the day. Like I am completing a project. I am having a love regarding art. Then I'll explain it. I'll make my energies done regarding that art particularly. If architect is not having love with the art only, not with architecture, then he'll be like this particular thing is good. This particular art piece is good for this table as good on this. He'll not explain. He'll not collaborate. He'll not use extra efforts on that art pieces. So, firstly, you guys need to explain architect the meaning of art. What the that particular meaning in terms of your perspective. If he or she is willing to do art, if he or she is in love with that art,
Okay. So I think we talk about art in much detail, but I would just like to sum up because of my understanding of my understanding of architecture comes from there. Artists and architecture, there's a difference, and the only single line difference is artist can take liberty of his space.
Yeah.
Architecture or architect cannot take that liberty. He has to be obligated to needs. And that is where architecture and art is different. An artist said, okay, this my painting is complete. But you can't say that my building is complete unless until it's complete.
it's complete. Yeah.
So that is why architecture is a conscious and a very, very mindful art practice. That's what I believe. I have 2 architects in the house and I know more than 15 people who are friends and who are architect. And if you are architect, you are by default an artist somewhere subconsciously. To create is not only comes from your academic training. You have to have some subconscious level understanding of aesthetics. So whenever some architect says that okay, art, I don't, then I feel no, then you don't know what you're talking about. But luckily, all of you agreed on this, and let's move to a question which I always like to ask an architect is any global architect or a practice which you think was your inspiration when you started off, or you still appreciate, and you would like to say a couple of building of that architect, Neeraj. Zahadid, okay.
And if I'm talking about couple of projects of them, is Injustice.
Yes.
Yeah, she was phenomenal.
Anupam.
So nothing specific coming in my mind. I would like to pass on.
Hi.
Any day Zahid, ma'am. She has done some phenomenal work, and we can just go on talking about her for the next 2 hours.
So Norman Foster, Tado, and they're going to feel very bad, huh?
I will notice as I drew over the period of time, starting from my academic life, I would not just constrain myself to one architect's name when you're talking about a global scenario that you respect to our Indian architects. To begin with, it was Daniel Libeskind. He still remains one of my favorite.
Yes.
Because deconstructivism is something that highly inspired me coming from. That's the real out of the blue, out of the box, the square, out of the square idea, I would say that you can actually see. And Daniel Libeskind brought it into practice via philosophy. You talk about most of his museums or a lot of other projects which has got all the features of deconstructivism we talk about, and they are backed by certain philosophy. So you see philosophy in terms of art and a tangible object in front of you, which you're living through time, is coming to existence, and that's when you repeat. Then talking about Satyasa Kalatrava.
Kalatra.
Calatrava is again something whom I dearly admire because of the kind of processes that he has used over a bit of time to get architecture to life. It's embodiment of something moving that is spatial for the whole world. And that is where the entire process of his architecture lies at. So that's again very inspiring to look into.
Shashank?
There are a lot of architects going in my mind right now, but I think one architect which I'm reading about currently is Japri Bawa.
Jafri Bawa, Sri Lankan, very prominent name, and
My,
it's called Sir Jafri Bawa. It's that kind of a prominent practice.
my
Yeah.
love for stones.
Come from that.
Yeah,
Okay.
additional to Dr. Bawal.
Yes.
I think the way he is like, he was merging the architecture with the landscape, like he has introduced the term tropical modernism. I think that is something I really like that inspiration from.
And he also changed the way tropical buildings used to design in major. Okay, so we are talking about global practices. So let me ask this question. Which building anywhere in the world do you wish you have designed? Angad?
Which any one building that you would have, like we would have designed instead of that architect.
Yeah.
But there's so much of disrespecting to online.
Or let's talk about it.
Just too much of disrespect on it.
No, it's about a dream. No, it's about dream. It's about dream.
I know, but you can't really go public.
Okay, you don't know. So we drop the question.
I would recommend so because I mean, if at large this.
No, but I got some interesting answer on that. Okay, that's one.
Since to this.
Okay, there is one building. Let's rephrase the question. One building which you think Indore needs and you would like to design.
Museum architecture.
Museum of Architecture. Shashank?
Museum architecture. We need some.
Museum architecture.
We need some museums. We need some places which respond to the interest of people apart from the eating children.
I think the Chrysler, it makes a great statement piece. It is amazing to look at, so I would love to have it in Indore.
Okay. Anup?
I would love to have art galleries over here in India.
Chalo, we are listening.
I'm being very practical now, and that can be happen. A very full-fledged Indian heritage palace,
Indian heritage. Okay.
and that can be.
Okay. So now the serious part of our conversation is over. Now it's going to be fun banter. So these are some one-word answer I'm expecting all of you to give, or maybe brief the most, because we have to be quick. I don't want other people to think. I don't want to give them chance to think while you are answering. It's like a rapid fire. So there is a. I'll give you the cups. You can take home the cups. Okay. So hamper is on this way. No, hamper is on their way. That's coming. So let's start with the personal thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite space in your house?
My bad.
Your bed.
Yes.
So it's my washroom.
Sure.
The dining table.
You are foodie.
It's just above the skylight. It's just below the skylight.
Okay. So you.
So it has the dining table. It looks amazing there.
I think my bed.
Okay.
Over a tank.
Over a tank. I have to come and see your house. Your favorite space in your house is over there.
So that's called Mamti area basically. And then I don't know what vocabulary we would use in Ahmedabad. So that has got the water tank and a big space to sit around it. And then I've got a lot of fields
Okay.
around.
So over the tank.
Yeah.
Tea on a side.
Overhead tank.
Overhead tank.
Overhead tank, which is like OHT.
And then that's your space to be.
That's a meditative space.
Okay.
I've talked to you about it later.
So what's your architectural guilty pleasure? I'll start with Avi because he's youngest.
Looking at other people's work, it is the biggest. I'm like, if somebody sees me watching it, it's like I'm a culprit there.
No. It's absolutely okay to do it, Shashank.
I think it's liberty to make decision on
Oh, that's a guilty pleasure. Feeling like a king.
feeling like a king, like you're making decision for so many people.
Just working on people's ideas.
Oh. And you don't want to edit this out, okay?
No, you don't. This will work. I want people to listen to this.
Anup?
So not getting enough budget for a site.
Okay.
Being a boss.
That's a guilty pleasure?
Yeah. I'm kind of a human person, but being on that desk.
Okay. So, most random object on your desk right now, Shashank. I catch
My
you.
desk. It's a pencil by Muji.
Okay.
I think it is 3 colors, so I just love switching and playing with that pencil.
Milk can painted into a stationery box. Milk can painted into a stationery.
Milk can. Wow. That's random object, yes.
Painted into a stationery.
Okay. Avi?
I have two. One is this ceramic different shaped bowl. It is bright orange in color. It looks very different. I don't know how it came there, and it has been there since very long. And another one is an hourglass. So we were just joking around a few days back that any clients come in, you should put on the hourglass.
Anup?
So my ashtray and my sketchbook.
Ashtray is not a random, and sketchbook is also not random. Something which is very random.
It is random actually.
Is it?
Yeah.
Because these days people work on computers, sketchbook can be compulsory.
So I need to sketch some random things over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was a mentor of mine, he gave me some I don't know what was it, some small stone piece from that was a pyramid, and it's been 8 years. It
It's
is on
there.
my table only.
It's there
I don't know why.
Positive energy was too.
And sometimes these random objects, as you rightly said, we don't know it is why. It is there and why.
Is it pyramids or like this has to be
If you weren't an architect, what you would be?
Me? For the cricketer. I'm having a lot of fascination about cricket.
I would be a event manager.
Event manager.
Yeah.
I would love to be a movie star.
You can go. You can pass by movie star. You are looking quite dashing about that.
I think I would love to explore more with wood. I would love to become a carpenter if I wouldn't be an architect.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just very beautiful how they shaped like sculpture or furniture out of wood.
serial entrepreneur? You see, our field has got one very small downside to it. So most of the industries, architects, apart from architects, most of the industries actually flourish because they are into prototyping of products. As an architect, you can't really prototype a product. And that is where the entire industrial idea of making yourself richer just goes down.
Okay. So
And
we are
that's
not.
very basic with every architect because you have to get
You're
into
not
a new
getting
set of
into a mass thing actually.
Yeah?
You're not getting into a mass thing.
You're not into
Yeah.
mass production of an idea without which you cannot really scale up yourself. It is so impossible.
Banya inside Angad is coming. Banya inside you is going on.
That's
It has to be there.
Most inspiring structure or building you have seen abroad, which you felt, I'm inspired by this.
So many, but Beijing airport is one of them.
Beijing Airport,
Eiffel Tower. Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
Changi Airport and the Marina. It's
Ooh,
amazing, yes.
okay. For you?
I think Sagrada Family in Barcelona.
It's still happening, but it's not yet over. It's like
Long time to go.
Yeah, it's a long time to go.
No foreign building I would work.
Okay, Indian building.
The temple in Karnataka, which is built upside down in construction. The name of the building.
Mhm.
Underneath that
Something
temple.
from M. Something. It starts from M.
You see,
It is carved up in stone.
it's
Yes.
that upside down
Right.
completely.
Mm.
Has not even been talked about.
Yes.
And that does not exist in the whole.
All wonders of the world, yes.
Right?
Okay, so a celebrity you would never design a house for.
Me? It's a tough choice. But sorry, I don't want to take name because we are designing for so many of celebrities. So
No, then you can say a boxer, and let's not go into name.
Rahul Gandhi, you can say.
yeah,
No, I'll not take this answer.
I was not here.
I'm not part of this panel.
I can say any politician.
Any politician.
Any politician.
Okay. Do you?
Didn't give a thought.
That's an honest answer.
Any unnecessary celebrated person, like, somebody gets famous by just a reel, yeah?
For no reason?
There's no reason. We've been working so hard. We're working so hard, putting our foot down and everything, and people are getting famous from reel.
Instagram celebrities.
Arrogant.
Okay.
I'm thinking of a person who's arrogant.
And I'm rephrasing your answer like a monopoly money, Instagram celebrities. You don't want to design. There are some
Kind of.
celebrities which are famous for no reason.
Yeah.
So let's not.
I don't like people who show off.
Politically correction is very.
So this is little fun question like AutoCAD, pen or paper.
Very big.
Pen paper.
Pen paper anyway.
I think both, mix of both.
Pen, paper, and models. And models.
Late night sketching or early morning site visit?
I'm not a morning person.
You're not a morning
No.
person.
Early morning site visits.
Right, neat sketches.
21.
Client with too many ideas or client with no ideas?
I would love to answer with everyone.
No ideas.
No idea.
That's so unfair. Not fair. They should have some idea. Okay. Sustainability or swanky?
Sustainability.
Swanky.
Swanky.
Sustainable.
Swanky sustainability.
Balance.
Swanky and sustainability.
And what is your go-to excuse when project runs late? So, all your clients are listening to this, huh?
मैंने तो सही डाला.
No, you have to read it in English.
Okay. And see, my supervisor on that particular time, that's all that this is
Oh,
good.
that's so unfair for supervisor.
So the clients didn't make a quick decision.
Most of the time, that's the
Yes.
reason.
It is
That is the reason, but my go-to excuse would be like, everything goes in place, but I don't know, it has never happened before.
Is it?
Now all his clients calling each other.
Yes.
She's saying this.
I might get a few
random.
calls after this.
I think if client have made decision quicker, then it would have finished on time.
So the most honest answer is the material do not really arrive on time on site because the drawings are done faster than how and what happens on the site. So most of the time, if the things are not in place with respect to labor or with respect to the materials being procured, a site is going to go late. And it would never be an architect's fault. It's very simple.
That's so unfair, but yeah, okay.
No, but how can it be an architect's
And I
mistake?
think delaying of a project, you can't make one person responsible. Though I
Yeah,
draw-
no, it's a joint
I-
effort.
So it's a teamwork.
Yeah,
So it always be a team.
It's a
It's always team, yeah. This is interesting because we already talk about Zaha Hadid and we talk about stone and this thing. So, glass or concrete?
Concrete.
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 Concrete, of course.
No, you should say stone.
If you want me to bypass your answer, I'm.
No, I'm happy.
Right.
I'm happy with it. We also talk about Zaha Hadid and La Corbusier, so I think unanimously everybody agrees to Zaha Hadid. If you want to read, this is tricky, and you might want to pass it, but I want to ask it. If you could redesign one building in Indore, which has been there for a long time, which one it could be?
Redesign. Holkar Palace. Holkar Palace.
Holkar Palace.
No, you are asking because the building is bad, or you're asking because your idea of the building is against it. Like, where does it lie?
I don't want to get into politically correct zone, but yeah, so it could be maybe you believe that building is badly designed, or maybe because you would love to design something like that. Could be both, or could be one of them.
Rajwada any day.
Anupam?
I was saying about the museum.
Okay.
Yep.
We have this famous Sarafa market. The day it's for the jewelry, for the night it's for the eat out. So I would love to design that particular street space.
Wow, okay.
I think it's an airport because by the time they have completed the airport, they're already thinking about building a new one. So
I would have personally wanted to work along with Sir Patrick Giddiff to do the urban planning of the law.
Okay. One overused material in Indian architecture or contemporary Indian architecture.
Right now, flutes. I'm fed up of flutes.
Plywoods, definitely.
Use of woods, also use of concrete, excessive use of concrete.
Excessive use of concrete.
I think laminates.
Laminates.
Glass.
Glass. I actually believe that glass is overused. We this 48-degree temperature. One architectural trend needs to go away.
That needs to go away.
Trend.
Trend.
About the trend.
Again, flutes.
Oh, what thing? I'm sorry?
Flutes.
Flutes. Oh.
Yeah.
The gaudy designs.
What has been always rare? It is always been there. Yeah, but yeah, you can say that one.
Some interior trends are too swanky to be adapted from the West. People are going crazy just looking at the reels and they just want them to be uncompromised in their interiors. I should go away.
Real life.
Yes.
Should go away. The Pinterest, the Instagram, and
Yes.
the net pictures should go away as soon.
Reels are really the
Pinterest should
pain in the ass.
Greek architecture in name of Ionic orders. The order systems of Greek architecture, the Corinthian columns and the various kinds of floral columns that you find, people say that's classical architecture and put it anywhere. The idea of classical architecture.
It should go away. That's what you are saying.
Huh?
It should go away. That's
That,
what.
that should go away because that does not represent anything. Even they don't endorse it. Why should you put it everywhere? And that's not classical architecture anyway.
So, okay, design in black and white or full spectrum of color. What do you think?
It depends on project to project, but colors are any day friend of an architect.
I would prefer black and white. Yeah.
Neutral black and white colors. 2 or 3 colors in a palette.
I think very minimal colors.
Okay.
Project specific.
Project specific, yes. So, normally I know all the architects give one answer, minimalism or maximalism.
Minimalism, any day.
You would know about the
You said a
Minimalist.
first statement, yes.
Minimalistic, yes.
We can go on maximalism.
Yeah,
at
but
times, yes.
the project
We
requires
should,
it.
Yes.
Yeah, my personal choice will be minimalism.
Satisfaction.
So this was fun, Bento, fun rapid fire round, and it was wonderful talking to all of you. And you know what I have learned today is you people are fairly established in your own practice, but I would still say it's an emerging practice because you are making your mark in country. You are getting out and beyond Indore and working across India and evolving every passing day because you have a long way to go in your journey. So I would like to wish you all the best. Since there are people who are working for 16 years, 10 years, you don't need a lot of good wishes from my side, but I want
Why
to...
not?
No, but why I want to wish is, continue doing your journey as a responsible architect. That's because we talk about environment friendly stuff. We talk about sustainability. We talk about client satisfaction and also being in a realm of enhancing the experience of living. So we talk about a lot of responsible stuff today. And I wish and pray that all the architects think like this. All the architects, when they sit in front of that blank paper, think as a responsible architect. So thank you so much, all of you, to give us time. It has been wonderful knowing your practice, knowing your philosophy, knowing your design sensibilities, and it has enhanced my understanding of architecture. So thank you so much for coming and have a wonderful day ahead.